Hey everyone, Amazon has been one of the best performing stocks in the market in 2024. Of course, I'm happy about that. I recommended Amazon as one of the top stocks to buy in 2024. I made that recommendation at the end of December of 2023. But in this video, I'm going to update where I think Amazon's stock price could end up by the end of this year. So where it'll end up by the end of December of 2024. I'm going to share with you all the estimates, assumptions, and numbers I'm using to make that calculation so you could follow along and decide for yourself if some or all of the numbers I'm using are reasonable or unreasonable. So let's take a look at the details. All right, so one of the numbers I'm going to need is Amazon's current share price, which is $197 per share as of this recording. I highlighted that it has been one of the best performing stocks in the market, up from around $150 per share to begin the year, now all the way up to $197 per share, which is a considerable increase for a large cap tech stock like Amazon. Of course, Nvidia has trumped them all, but Amazon has done well on its own right. Another number I'm going to need is Amazon's forward price to earnings ratio. Now, this is the forward 1 year price to earnings ratio. So it's looking at the expected earnings per share over the next 12 months. And that's the denominator of this equation. Of course, the market price is the numerator. As of this recording, Amazon's trading at a forward PE of 34.47, right about the midpoint of where it's traded at according to this metric, going back all the way to January of 2022. Of course, in 2022, Amazon was trading at forward PEs over 50, and that since fell to less than 30 in 2023, and it's now been on an upward trend, recovering from the lows in early 2023. So I'm going to need this when I'm making my estimate for the stock price for end of this year. Now, I'm also going to need Amazon's expected earnings per share for next year. Since I'm using the forward PE ratio, I need that denominator, I need that earnings per share to estimate the stock price for the end of this year. And according to Wall Street analysts that are following Amazon stock, they think it's going to deliver $5.76 in earnings per share next year in 2025. You'll notice that's up considerably from the $5.19 in earnings per share they thought Amazon was going to deliver next year. So just in the matter of the last 90 days, Amazon's earnings expectations have increased meaningfully for both 2024 and 2025. You can see 2024 earnings per share expectations have drifted upward by about 10% from 413 to 455, and 2025 EPS expectations have increased from 519 to 576. Two primary factors driving that increase in EPS. Number one, Amazon's AWS segment, its most profitable segment, has accelerated growth, right? That had been coming down from growth rates closer to 20% all the way down to growth rates closer to 12%. But Amazon recently accelerated that, and it's now approaching 20% revenue growth rate in its most profitable segment. That's one reason. The second reason, Amazon's cost improvements. It's changed the logistics infrastructure to get closer to customers. Packages are traveling shorter distances, and that's lowering the cost to serve, and that's boosting profitability in the e-commerce segment. So both factors driving increasing profitability for Amazon, necessitating Wall Street analysts to raise their earnings expectations for Amazon for both this year, next year, and longer term as well. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video. Moomoo is a trading platform that allows individuals to buy and sell stocks and other investments. I posted the link to Moomoo in the description below. If you use that link to sign up to Moomoo, it'll help support my channel, but more importantly, you can get special incentives for using my link, including up to extra 10 free stocks. All right, so now that we have the numbers we need, we can start our model to predict where Amazon stock price could be by the end of this year. So if earnings per share continues to trend towards $5.76 for 2025, and the forward PE multiple stays at 34.47, then Amazon stock price could end this year at $198 per share, which would be right about where it's at today. That would mean very little price improvement for the rest of this year. This scenario, I think, is less likely. One of the reasons why is I highlighted Amazon's forward PE multiple has been drifting higher as the company has accelerated the AWS growth rate and made cost improvements. Consumer behavior is changing in its favor, and so the company's valuation steadily improving, and I expect that trend to continue throughout 2024. So I think the forward PE multiple will rise. If it rises to 36, then the stock price could increase to $207 per share. If the forward PE multiple were to rise to 40, then the stock price could rise to $230 per share. However, if things worsen for Amazon, for instance, if there should be a sudden reversal of the cost improvements, let's say there's another spike in oil prices and Amazon's cost to serve customers surges as a result of one of or more of the inputs in its cost structure, then the forward PE multiple will likely fall. That's a scenario I feel is not the most likely, but it could happen. And if that does happen, the stock price could fall to $144 per share. Now, it's important to consider these bear case scenarios, even if you're bullish on Amazon stock, which I am. I'm bullish on Amazon stock, but I still consider the downside. I still consider the downside of every investment, even if I still think the investment is undervalued or if I think the investment is a buy. I still take considerable time to think about the downside of every investment decision. However, where do I think Amazon stock is most likely to end up? I would say with the higher PE multiple and a stock price in a range of between $205 per share to $225 per share by the end of this year, which would be a solid improvement from the current $197 per share the stock is trading at as of this closing. But remember, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, especially not me. I use the best numbers and assumptions and estimates I have at my disposal. Not even the Wall Street analysts that are following Amazon stock know for sure what's going to happen in the future. We just use the best numbers and estimates at our disposal. So do your own due diligence. Make sure to follow through on your research and make your own decisions and come to your own conclusions. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.